Hello everyone, myself Sabri and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to understand a tool which is embedded inside the Power App, which is called Live Monitor. First, let's understand what that tool offers. It gives the maker the ability to view a stream of events from a user session to diagnose and troubleshoot problems. Now, there are multiple scenarios a developer come across where when they write the code, they might anticipate that it might work, but there are chances they might have wrote something wrong and the response, whatever they are getting, may not be in the anticipated format. To just view what we have passed and what we are receiving from the source, Live Monitor is a best application to take a look at it. So makers of the Canvas app can use Live Monitor either to view the events when building the new app in the Power App Studio or monitor a published Power Apps during the runtime. So now in this video, first we would like to understand how we can use the monitor tool when we are building the app, and then later I will just give you a glimpse how you can use the monitor tool for a pre-published app which is already running in production. Let's understand a few benefits of using this tool. So this helps you to diagnose and troubleshoot problems faster, which will help you to build more reliable apps. It provides a deeper view of your app by logging all key activities that occur in the app as it runs. For instance, if you see in my screen, I have a sample app opened. When I do a click in this drop down, or when I type something, or when I click this reset button, each of my activities will be tracked, which will help me to understand what is the activity that is being done and what are the recurring steps that happens in the backend so that we get the necessary information. Live monitor is a key tool when we are trying to understand the performance of the app as well. Now let's jump into the video and understand how we can use live monitor while creating the application. The use case what I have taken here is a pre-built canvas app where I have demonstrated how to create a document library like experience in Power Apps. So I do have drop down which says current folder or full directory. When I switch to full directory, the data, whatever you see on the gallery, will show all the data available in the directory. Or if I focus on current folder, this will only show the current folder data. I do have a reset button. For instance, consider I have navigated to a folder inside a folder, and if I do the reset, it automatically brings back my app to the older position. Now we would like to understand how we can connect a live monitor to it. Let me go to the edit mode, and if you see a three dot, a hamburger icon, and you see something called advanced tools. So you can go to the advanced tools, and here you have two options. One is live monitor and another one is test. Now we would like to explore the live monitor. So you have a button called open live monitor, which you can click, and this will open up a new tab for the live monitor. So let's wait for the screen to load and see what we have in the screen. Now you have an empty screen, and you can see here it is saying connecting to the specific session. And now I think it's connected the studio screen. Whenever now if you play the app and do any of the actions, for instance, let's say I'm just changing from my current folder to full directory. Now, if you go to the monitor, you see few records being captured as a part of the clicks what I have made. First, let's understand what are the options that we have in the screen. You have a sequence ID, you have a time on which the session started, and what is the type of the action, and what is the operation, and what is the result. Right here, you will have additional info if it has been returned by the source or the app, the status code, how much duration that the specific action took, and what data source that is getting included on the certain action, plus what is the control that is being used in the app, and what is the property of the control that is being triggered, and the total response size. If you check the first action, the user action is a select, is nothing but the drop down to, and it is in the on select. So when I click this drop down, which means this is the drop down to, if you go to the edit mode, you will be able to see the name. This is the drop down to, and on clicking this, here the first on select property got triggered. So let me select that, which will open a complete view of information. If you go to the formula, here nothing because it is just the on select property. Here you have two sections, which is formula and the data level context. Here it just says the entity name is on to and the property name whatever we hit is the on select. Next, the next action is the set property, and the set property is also associated with the drop down too. If you see here, now it will give you the data. Entity is again drop down to selected. The value what it gonna set is full directory. If you go to our app, you see this is the drop down value what I have selected, full directory. Coming back here, going to the next source, it is a network action, get rows. So it will be talking to our SharePoint. Since it is a get rows, you have two additional informations at the top, which is request and response. What you have requested and what is the response that the app have received it for you. In the details, again, you will have a formula. This is the formula what you wrote. Here in the formula section, you will be able to view it in a clear format. And if you come back to the details, you have something called data section, tells you what data it received. So this is the total data that we have received as a part of this click. So as I said, if you go to the request, this is the header that we have passed from the Power Apps to the source. And this is the response that you have received. Let me go to the response tab. This is the response that you have received. So you see this response is in a tabular format. If you want to convert it into a JSON format, you can go to the table at the top and click JSON tree and the response will be given you in form of a JSON. Let me get back to the monitor screen and you see here, there is again a network. We got the count rows, here the requested info. This app requested for 500 data. If you see here, it requested for 500 rows, but it received only 12 rows because our source only have 12. This is a warning because the search function, whatever we used in this gallery, does have a delegation warning. Let me run the app. I will try to search something which is called as test. Now it returns the value. Let me go back. You see certain other actions being added. First is the select action, which I have done in the text input dot on select. Then based on that on select, if you go here, based on the on select, we are trying to get the rows. It is the get rows function. What it does is, if you go to the formula, this is what it does, goes to the document upload from Power Apps. This is my source, uses the text input search section and gets the data. If you scroll, you will be able to see the how much time it took, and probably the next is get count. And again, next comes the search function inside the gallery, which actually searches and responds you the results. Wherever you see an exclamatory mark which tells delegation, so here you will be able to understand if the app has impact based on the delegation or not. Let's say consider your data source have 700 rows or 800 rows. Here app will show you that it retrieved only first 500, by which you will be able to understand how many rows got retrieved. So consider a scenario where you are patching an information to a data source and that patch returns an error while doing that action. At that time, you will be able to see the status of this section here as failed, and that will give you the reason why it failed with that error message. As an example, consider this scenario. This reset button has around 100 lines of code and you are keen in noticing only a specific part. To do that, you can use a trace function. So what I would like to do is I will call the trace function here and I say my action starts. Let me close this. And you need to make sure to close out this trace action wherever it ends. So here I say my trace action ends. Now, if you run the app and if you click on the reset button, here I have clicked the trace twice. So let me go to the live monitor, check for the action. You see the certain actions got triggered and you see something called trace. So what you can do, you can take the ID 17. So let me go here, say filter by ID is greater than or equal to 17, by which you will be able to view only the actions that happened after trace. Since I have clicked twice, you see a trace, clear collect and end of the trace. And here in the request info, you will be able to see my action starts and my action ends. So this is something happened in between this, nothing but our clear collect and one row collected. So with the help of this trace function, you will be able to monitor a certain specific section of code. If you feel there are so many rows where you are not able to find the ID easily, what you can do, you can put a filter for the operation trace, get the ID, and you can filter with that ID greater than that number. So you will be able to see all the action that happened after the trace. Considering the monitor function, there are certain supported and unsupported scenarios which we need to be aware of. I will take you to the Microsoft documentation, and here they have explicitly listed all the supported events as well as some of the unsupported scenarios for the live monitor. The first section, whatever you see, is the supported events. If you see here, you can see all the actions such as navigate, select property, and set property, custom trace, delegation versus non-delegation queries, function, network, passing, performance. These are all the set of actions supported for the Canvas apps live monitoring session. And here in the model driven, there are four actions, which is form events such as load and save, network, page navigation, and command execution. If you scroll down, you will see three unsupported scenarios for live monitor. The first one is the live monitor cannot be used even if a Canvas app is embedded inside a model driven app or a custom page. And similar to that, live monitor cannot be used to a SharePoint custom form app. Also, live monitor cannot be used if an app is embedded inside a Microsoft Teams. As an alternative, you can play the app in the web player for diagnostic purposes. That's what I would like to tell you next. Consider the app, whatever I shown here is in an edit mode. I will just go to my Power App service, and here this is the app what I have played. Consider this is being used, and now you need to monitor the session. You can go to the three dots in the details, click live monitor. This will open up a page where looks similar to the edit app canvas monitor page. Here you would need to invite a certain user by which you will be able to monitor all the activities of the user. Now you see here it is the published app session, and here you can say invite. If you see invite people to the session, so invite people to the session monitoring session, anyone joining the session will see all the events. Consider you have 2 3 developers where you want to interact with the selected user to view all the events. What you can do is invite all the developers here. Next is to connect the user. Go ahead, click the connect user, type the user who you want to connect, and select the name. This automatically gives you a link. Just share this link with the user, and whatever the user does after opening this link will be tracked in this live monitor session. We need to make sure this link is only available for 1 hour at the time of generation. There is one more option which is not preferred, where you can go to the settings of the app and enable the debugging automatically, and this will be applicable to all the users who are using this app. And in the general area, if you scroll down, you will see an option called debug published app, which you can turn on, so that so this will record each and every activity of the published app. One thing we need to make sure is this implementation will be across all the users who are using this app, and as per Microsoft, this will have a considerable degradation in the app performance. By this, we come to end of this video. If you have any comments, please post it in the comment section and we will be happy to help.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button, and press the bell icon for our new video alerts.